Hi friends, I'm Madhu. This video is some different from the rest of the videos I had made till now क्योंकि ये वीडियो मैंने किसी पर्टिकुलर मैथ्स टॉपिक या चैप्टर पे नहीं सिर्फ मैथमेटिक्स फॉर्मूलाज पे बनाया है और ये फॉर्मूलाज मैंने क्लास 8 तक कवर करने की कोशिश की है. As maths is filled up with rules and formulas, it is very important that we should be clear about them before we study any concept or chapter, so that we can do that concept very easily if we are aware of the formulas related to that particular topic. So, formulas are very important for solving a question properly. They have a very major role in solving a question. So, if you are aware which formula will be applied in a question, the question is done. Just the rest of the things are left like calculations. So, formulas are like the keys for solving any question. For example, for opening a door, you need the keys. In the same way, for doing a question properly, you need the correct formula. Now, one more modification I have did in my videos is that whenever I will start my video, I will always start with a motivational and inspiring thought said by great people and leaders of all the times, so that we can implement their thoughts, their quotes in our daily lives. We can follow them because it is very good to start with an inspiring thing. So, the thought for this video is, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I will spend my first 4 hours in just sharpening the axe. This thought is said by Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of America. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of America. He abolished slavery in America and rest of the things you all are aware. Now, in this thought, he wants to say that if he is given 6 hours to cut a tree, if he have to cut a tree and he is having 6 hours, he will spend his first 4 hours in sharpening the axe. Axe is the tool for cutting the tree. So, he is saying that 4 hours he will just sharpen his tool, that is axe, and in the rest of the 2 hours he will cut his tree. Through this thought, we are clear that if we are doing any work, we should spend more time on the preparation. In this thought, he is saying that he will spend more time on sharpening the axe. Sharpening the axe means preparation for cutting the tree. And he will cut the tree in 2 hours. Cut the tree means he is doing any work, and that will be done in a very less time, less efforts. If our preparation is good, if we have spent more time on preparation, our work can be done very easily, also with less efforts. So this thought is applicable in our daily lives also. For example, there are competitive exams like UPSC, IIT, NEET. The number of candidates who apply in these exams and the number of candidates who get success in these exams. The number of candidates who are successful are very less because they are those candidates which have prepared a lot, which have spent more time on their preparation. And some of the successful candidates are there, they have cleared the exam in just first attempt only. And because of this, we are clear also that if our preparation is good for a particular or any exam, we can clear that exam in first attempt also. So by this thought we are understood that for doing any work, our time should be spent more on the preparation, not on doing that work. Some people just keep on trying, they just give the attempts. Instead of they are not preparing. We should focus on preparing, and the work will be done very easily also with a less efforts. So this was our thought of the video. Now let's quickly get started with our topic, that is mathematics formulas. So friends, here is the first chapter from which we will take the formulas, that is numbers. So in this chapter you may have studied about rational numbers, integers, fractions, decimals, whole number, natural number, prime number, etc. So these all are classified as a single chapter, that is numbers. So in this chapter we see here two major formulas, that is multiplication and division of integers. Integers also you may have studied, all positive and negative numbers including 0 are integers. Now if we have to multiply, in the case of multiplication, if we have to multiply two integers positive, here plus is there means we are multiplying two positive integers, the answer will come positive. If we are multiplying two negative integers, then also the answer is positive. And if we are multiplying one positive, one negative, then the answer is negative. And if we are multiplying one negative, one positive, then also the answer is negative. So in this thing they shows that if we are multiplying any two integers which are having same sign means either it can be positive or negative. And if we are multiplying two integers with different signs, means one is positive, other is negative, one is negative, other is positive, then the answer is always coming negative. Now in case of division, in the case of division everything is same. Here just you have to put the division sign. If we are dividing two positive integers, answer will come positive. If we are dividing two negative, then answer will come positive. If we are dividing one positive, one negative, then also negative, and vice versa. So इस रूल से हमें पता लगा है कि मल्टीप्लिकेशन और डिवीज़न में रूल्स सेम है, बस हमें ये याद रखना है कि हम किसी भी इंटीजर्स, किसी भी दो इंटीजर्स को या मल्टीप्लाई कर रहे हैं या डिवाइड, और अगर उनका सेम साइन है तो हमारा आंसर हमेशा पॉजिटिव आता है। और अगर दोनों नंबर्स के साइन डिफरेंट है, मतलब एक पॉजिटिव एक नेगेटिव या फिर एक नेगेटिव दूसरा पॉजिटिव, तो आंसर हमेशा नेगेटिव आएगा। ये बोथ सेम है मल्टीप्लिकेशन डिवीज़न में, द रूल्स आर एग्जैक्टली सेम। जस्ट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट व्हेन यू आर मल्टीप्लाइंग एनी टू इंटीजर्स and dividing any two integers, you have to remember them. So friends, here is the next chapter, exponents and powers. From this chapter we always study about the laws of exponents. These are very important. They come in 7th class also and in 8th also. So there are 6 laws of exponents. Now firstly we go with the laws of exponent. Firstly we should know what this chapter is. Like there is a number 6 and it is having a small number, or you can say subscript 2. So here it is known as base. 6 is the base and 2 is the power. It is the power, or you can say exponent, and it is the base. The full chapter is based on exponents and the base. So before we studied, so we should know this, that it is the base and it is the exponent or power. So now come on the laws of exponents. So first one is a power m into a power n. There is a number a and it is having a power m, and same and it is multiplying with the same number, but the power is different. So what we will do, the number will be written same and the powers will be added, because if the base is same and the powers are different and they are in multiplication, then the powers will be added. For example, 6 plus 6 power 2 into 6 power 3. So here we will write 6 as it is because the base is same, and the powers will be added. 2 plus 3, that is 5. So it will be 6 power 5. Next law of exponent is a power m divided by a power n. Here also it is same, just in place of multiplication they are divided. So there will be opposite, the powers will be subtracted from each other. If the base is same and the powers are different and they are in division relation, then the powers will be subtracted. For example, 6 power 4 minus divided divided by 6 power 2. Base will be written as it is and the powers will be subtracted. 4 minus 2. That is 6 power 2. It was our second law of exponent. Third one, a power minus m. Any number which is having a power in negative or in minus sign, then always there is the reciprocal of the base. Here if it is any number, it will be the reciprocal. If here is 6, it will be 1 by 6. And if here is any fraction 2 by 3, then it will be 3 by 2. Means if any number which is having negative power, then the base will be reciprocal and the power will become positive. So let me take an example like 6 power minus 2. So reciprocal of 6 will be 1 by 6 and the power will become positive of 2. It will be on the whole fraction. Next law of exponent is a power m bracket close then power n. Means a is having a power of m and that power is also having a power of n. So the both powers will be multiplied here. If there are two powers in closed with the brackets, then the powers will be multiplied. For example, 6 power 2, close the bracket, and power 2. So it will be 6 is equal to 2 into 2. It will be 6 power 4. Okay. Now the fifth law of exponent. It is AB power n. Means there are two numbers and they are having same power. Then the power will be distributed. Because if the power is above a bracket, outside of a bracket and inside the bracket any numbers are present, then the powers will be distributed. It is for both the numbers. So a power n, b power n, both will get the power. So for example, 6y, it is having a power of 2. So it will be 6 power 2, y also power 2. Powers will be distributed. So now the fifth law of exponent, it is very easy. A power 0 is equal to 1. Any number which is having a power of 0, it is always equal to 1. 3 power 0, 5 power 0, any fraction which is having power 0, any rational number having a power of 0, the answer is always 1. So for example, I am taking 6 power 0, that is always 1. It is very easy. So these are the laws of exponents. Just remember they are 6 and very important. They come in almost 7th class also, 8th also, and in higher also. So just remember them. So friends, here is the next topic for the formulas, that is percentage. Firstly, we have to learn the formula that how we can convert fractions, decimals and ratio into percentage. A fraction can be converted into percentage. For example, I am having 4 by 5. I have to convert it into percentage. Simply I will multiply it by 100 because percent means 100 and the fraction obtained will be its percentage. So fraction can be converted easily, just we have to multiply it by 100. Now decimals. For example, I am having 0.5. I have to convert it into percentage. I will multiply it by 100 because percent means 100. Now decimal, there are two zeros in 100, so decimal will be shifted 2 places. Here also and here. 2 places it will shift. If 0 will come here, it will become 50. So answer is 50. We will multiply 0.5 by 100. The answer will come 50. Like this, a decimal can be converted into percentage. Now ratio. Ratio also very easy, just one more step from fraction. Like 4 by 5, 4 ratio 5 is the ratio, and I have to convert it into percentage. First step is we will convert it into fraction and then simply we will multiply by 100. Just in fraction we are directly multiplying by 100, but in ratio firstly convert it into fraction and then multiply by 100. The fractions, decimal and ratio can be converted into percentage, and percentage can also be converted into these three forms. So just learn them because percentage is mostly based on these only. So friends, here in percentage we have some more formulas, that is increase percent and decrease percent. Increase percent, if there is any value, it have increased in number or in quantity, then it is only known as increase, that the quantity or the value is increased. So for finding the increase percent, this is the formula applied. Increase by original value into 100 because we are finding the percentage. Increase percent, like I am having 8 pens. 8 pens I am having, and they have increased to 10 pens. Means from 8 it increased to 10. The value have increased. So for finding the increase percent, this is the formula. Increase by original value into 100. Decrease percent, it is same, just you have to put decrease here by original value into 100 and your decrease percent can easily obtained. If the value have decreased, like from 8 pence it goes to 6, here the value have decreased and here the value have increased. So if the value is decreased, for finding the decrease percent, this is the formula, and if you have to find increase percent, just this is the formula. Just note them down, they are very important. And if you want to find increase percent and decrease percent of any value, these are the two formulas. Just note them down. So friends, our next topic is ratio and proportion. In this chapter we mainly come across a main formula, that is product of means is equal to product of extremes. This formula is for finding the proportion of any two ratios. Like, what is proportion? Proportion is the comparison of two ratios, like 8:4. Proportion is having the sign of these 4 dots. One more ratio we will write here, 4/2. So this is our statement and we have to find that are they are in proportion or not. So for finding the proportion, this is the formula. What this formula says? This formula says that product of means. Product means multiplication. We will multiply two numbers. Of means means middle one. Middle one means these 4 and 4. They are present in the middle of the proportion. So product of means, it will be 4 into 4 is equal to product of extremes. Extremes which are present at the end, at the corners. 8 and 2 are present at the corners. So it will be 8 into 2. It will be 16. This will be also 16. So yes, they are in proportion. Means for finding proportion of any two ratios, you have to use this formula. With this formula you can find that the given statement is in proportion or not. So friends, our next chapter is speed, distance and time. In this chapter we come across many important formulas. They are, if we have to find speed of any object which is moving, for example a car, if it is moving we have to find its speed. It will be distance divided by time. How much distance that car will cover and how much time that it will take to cover that distance. So that will be the speed of that object. Distance, if we have to find how much distance it will cover, means a car is moving, speed of the car is given, time is given, that how much time it will take, and if they are asking distance, the formula is speed into time. And if we have to find time, how much time it will take, means if a car is moving with a constant speed and it is given that this much distance it will cover, and the question is asking how much time it will take, so it will be distance divided by speed. So we have learned how to calculate the speed, how to calculate distance and time also. So just note down this formulas and remember them. Now this is how to convert a speed from kilometer per hour to meter per second. If a speed is given in kilometer per hour and we have to convert it into meter per second, we have to multiply the given speed by 5 by 18. Means the given speed will be multiplied by 5 by 18. Remember this fraction. If we have to convert from kilometer per hour to meter per second, then the speed will be multiplied by 5 by 18. And opposite, if we have to convert from meter per second to kilometer per hour, then we will multiply by 18 by 5, just the reciprocal of this fraction. You have to just remember that if we are converting from kilometer per hour to meter per second, it will be 5 by 18, and from meter per second to kilometer per hour, it will be 18 by 5. We will multiply the speed by these fractions. So just note them down and remember them. So friends, our next chapter is time and work. My previous video was in time and work only, but in this video we will only talk about the formulas. So in this chapter we see here two formulas. First one is a person's one day work. If we have to find that how much work a person is doing in one day, the formula is 1 divided by total number of days he requires to do the work. If you will divide 1 by the total number of days required to finish the work, you will get 1 day work of a person. Next one is total number of days required to finish the work. If the question is asking how many number of days the person will take to finish the work, the formula is 1 divided by 1 day's work. 1 will be divided by the 1 day work of that person and you will get the total number of days required to finish the work. So friends, these were the formulas for time and work, but the formulas have not finished yet for the rest of the chapters, but the video is becoming lengthy, so that's why I will make this video in 3 parts. Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3. This one is part 1 and soon I will upload my rest of the 2 parts also. And remember what I said in the starting, that formulas are keys for solving any question. They have a major role in solving a particular question. And I hope that you will just keep on revising them so that you don't forget these formulas. They are very basic, very important for class 8th. So, and please tell your views and suggestions in the comment box. So that's all for this video. Thank you.